Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be set 6. SKT versus KT Rolster. It's 3-2 SKT right now. Best coming out the last head of the three-headed monster. And wow, this is going to be fun. It's going to be Best versus Hoejja. Hoejja who, I told you, he's 4-0 in the playoffs. Or is it 5-0? Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's awesome in the playoffs. He's doing unbelievably well in the playoffs. So he's on a hot streak. And on the other side, we have Best, who, as much as it's fun as it is to make fun of Best about his PVZ, he won't let us do it anymore. Best won't let us make fun of him anymore because he keeps winning. Best just started to win against Zergs. In fact, most recently, the most recent time these two players played, Best won on Jade a couple months ago. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on or how this happened, but Best suddenly finally learned how to play against Zerg. He's even, get this. I know, it's going to be hard to believe, but Best has started to keep his Corsairs alive. That's right. Best Corsairs are living these days. It's amazing. He has been playing so well against Zerg. It's really shocking. And Hoejja is 5-0. His wins. Listen to this. Just listen to the names of who he's beat. Against CJ, he beat Hoejja, Effort, and Lita, which is insane because that's the three best players on CJ. And then when he went to Samsung Con, he ended up beating Roro, their top Zerg, which, maybe not the same much, and Shine. So he won 4 ZVZs, 2 of them against Effort and Hoejja, which is absolutely insane. If I actually remember correctly, I believe I've seen every single one of these ZVZs, and he's actually had a build order advantage in every single one. But still, he's gone ahead and actually followed through and won, and there's something to be said that you actually, to be able to follow through and actually win is very, very important. A lot of players aren't able to do that, so, something to remember. And unfortunately for Hoejja, he was not able to advance in the OSL. I didn't want to talk about that in the first set with Bisu not advancing in the OSL because it's kind of a sore spot for a lot of Bisu fans. Not me, I'm not a Bisu fan, but for a lot of Bisu fans, that is quite a sore spot. And yeah, so didn't want to touch that one. Didn't want to make people unhappy. But I'll make you unhappy now. I feel like bringing it up now because I'm in the mood. So, yeah. So there you go. Sorry. Sorry, BC fans. Anyways, we are going to have hatches are already up for Hoejja. Is that 3 hatch before pool? I think it's 3 hatch before pool. Yikes. Or is that might be a pool out there on the left side. And I was looking at stat pages and forgot to pay attention to the beginning of I always forget to pay attention to some of the beginnings of these games. I just don't. Yeah, okay, that is a spotting pool. Okay, so it's not 3 hatch before pool. Saying that, I was gonna be like, wait a second. But it looks like pretty standard stuff for this for the Forge fast expand going on there. There's a gateway coming up before a cannon, so I'm gonna get his tech rolling a little bit earlier than sometimes you'll see. A lot of times you'll see most Protoss players will put down at least 1 cannon before they get to that gateway, but that good scout coming in there from that probe lets him know that he doesn't need to worry about any Zerglings yet, so he gets that gateway down as well. And with the assimilator, he'll be able to get down a core, and his tech will be pushing out a little bit faster, which is actually kind of interesting because his Corsairs will be out a little bit earlier by a few seconds, and he'll also be able to, if he chooses to, he can do some sort of mid-game push with perhaps a +1 speed lot push or an Archon push, anything like that. All those kinds of things are open to him that will hit just a few seconds early. And I've seen so many games where Zerg players played on the edge against those mid-game like big pushes. They played like right on the edge. They have their second colonies just in time, like literally 5 seconds before the Protoss attack comes, and just a few seconds of that may change the time and could actually end up being important. You never know. So I think sometimes those little things can end up making a big difference if you're able to catch someone off guard, even by just a few seconds if the timing is just a little bit off, and catch people by surprise. Yep. Overlord for Hoejja is going to get a full scout in here. Going to see all the tech, and the Stargate there in the corner may not be seen by the Overlord. I'm not sure if the Overlord will bother to go in that far. We'll have to see. He should assume that it's there, of course, but he may not actually go in there to actually confirm it. And like I said at the end of the last set, with Best and Hoejja, either SKT's Protoss line is going to go 3-0 and win the series, or KT's Zerg line is going to go 3-0 and force an ace match, which is crazy, which is amazing that we're looking at KT's Zerg line to keep them going. I mentioned that KT's Zerg line has been playing much better, but who would have thought that it'd be KT's Zerg line winning every game and Flash and Stats losing. Would be shocking, right? So yeah, a little bit of an interesting storyline there, I think, as to whether or not they'll be able to do that. And Best, I mean, no one would be shocked to see SKT's Protoss line win them the series with Bisu and Best and Sun or Rain, whatever you want to call them. All of them very, very excellent players. So one line shocking, one line very unshocking, but it all comes down to this match, which one of them will be able to do it. And we do have a Citadel of Dune there. We've got another Pylon. Haven't seen a whole lot of gateways, so we'll see what he's got planning here. Hoejja, what's Hoejja doing? He's got his layer tech going. There's the 4th hatchery, and probably we'll be seeing a 5th hatchery pretty shortly as well. So it will be a little bit of a 5-hatch Hydra going on here. And there's the first Corsair going to go in there and get a full scout on and see the 5-hatch Hydra coming his way. And we should be seeing Best start to throw down some more gateways, get some Dragoons out, be able to contest against the Hydralisks, or at least some more Zealots or Hydras, something. He needs Zealots or Dragoons, something to deal with all of the Hydras that are going to be heading his way. That is 5 hatches, 5-hatch Hydra, as expected. Very, very normal stuff that we're seeing going on here. And what else is going on? Anything else? The Templar Archives, pretty standard stuff. Still no more gateways. Just the 1 gateway hasn't even really been producing units that consistently. Just the 3 Zealots. So Best is cheating really hardcore on getting his tech out right now, putting down a cannon here and there, but not a whole lot else. And that's it. We have 2 Corsairs, 3 Corsairs right now for Best. So Best is going to be going for that Corsair critical mass, and then we'll be able to push out and start doing some damage. But he's going to have to be careful because 5-hatch Hydra puts a lot of Hydras out on the field. So he's going to have to use those Corsairs very, very efficiently and carefully, which is always fearful. Even with his improved Corsair management, it's still very, very fearful. He can actually shoot at those Scourge and turn around before they're able to hit him, but it looks like Best doesn't want to play games with his Corsairs. Just not inherently one of his units. So even though they're better, it's just not inherently something that he likes. So he's just being careful. We have 4 cannons now at the front, expecting a Hydra bust to come his way. Evolution Chamber coming up, and a 4th base at the 6 o'clock position. So this may not actually be a big Hydra bust coming in here. Yeah, or he could just be waiting for upgrades as well. That's always a potential, just waiting for upgrades before the Hydra bust comes in. But a 4th base coming up, which is a lot earlier than you usually expect to see out of 5-hatch Hydra. Usually 5-hatch Hydra, you're going to pump Hydras for a while. And Evolution Chamber certainly is normal. You certainly expect to see the Hydras pump for longer before you see a 4th base goes down. Usually a lot of pressure coming in there from 5-hatch Hydra. Can also transition into some Lurkers, possibly take down that backside Disruptor. Those are all possibilities, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that. Look at this droning up. Look at all these drones. Hoejja giving Best a little switcheroo here. Best has been huddled in his base with his Corsair since he saw the 5-hatch Hydra, and he's just assuming that it's Hydras coming his way. And he's got 5 cannons now at his front to defend against Hydras, and what he doesn't know is that Hoejja has hoodwinked him and has come in with a huge amount of drones and has droned up like mad, taking a 4th base, and Best is in huge trouble right now, falling economically way behind. This could be actually pretty bad for him. We have a Queen's Nest coming up as well, so it's going to be straight to Hive Tech, and Hoejja the trickster. Hoejja, what a little trickster. The Mad Joker himself is coming in here, and he is absolutely swindled Best. Best has no idea what was coming his way. His Corsairs are flying through the bases right now, so he sees it now, I think. Or he did. He did go down. No, we actually never went in there. I just assumed that Best had gone in there for the scout. I just don't think he knows what's going on. I still don't think Best knows what's going on. I think he's still in the dark about this. This is awful for Best. He has no idea what's going on right now. His Corsairs are coming out. They do have the +1 upgrade, and he does have the Templars to defend. I think he's really just gonna turtle. Really? I think he just has no idea what's going on. He's taking his 3rd Nexus. This is exactly what he doesn't want to do right now. What he wants to do is he wants to pump a lot of Dragoons and then punch his way through and try and stop one of these bases. But Lurkers now at his side Disruptor are going to take it down. So with minimal number of units, Hoejja is actually going to put a lot of pressure on Best, and at the same time is going to take a huge economic advantage. This is crazy. Excellent metagame by Hoejja. Very well done. And now we do see Best throwing up a cannon at his back, at his mineral only, and he's going to have to throw down probably another one as well in order to make sure that those cannons don't bust him down. And he's still... you know, he might suspect the fourth. He might have seen a little bit of creep there, possibly. But I still don't think he's actually got in there and see just how early that was. I don't think he has any idea just how early it is. I think that's the biggest part about this, is just how early that fourth base went up, and that he's been living off of all of that money for so long. We have a couple of DTs coming out, and they're going to go be defensive and stop the lurkers from doing any damage at his back. That should be pretty effective. And a shuttle loaded up, I believe, with one Dark Templar, one High Templar, perhaps? Something like that. It's going to be Templar tech going out for some harassment, and the Corsairs are establishing a path for the shuttle to come in there. There are a couple of second colonies and a spore colony at the mineral only, so that will actually be very, very effective against stopping. DT is also effective against stopping, well, relatively effective against stopping High Templars. If they get dropped 2 sunken colonies, we'll take them down pretty quickly. Not fast enough to stop a storm, but certainly stop them from wandering around and positioning the storm perfectly, which a lot of Pelotas players like to do, and a lurker being thrown away against those 3 cannons at the back. So the lurkers have destroyed the Side Disruptor, but not going to be able to do any real damage, but that does open up another avenue that Best has to be concerned about. He's got to watch that, he's got to make sure that he's got that defended, and he's got to take that into account in all of his decision making. So I think that's very, very good for Hoejja to have broken that down. And here comes Best. He's going to drop off. Come on, Best. There we go. Dropping off a DT. And he's going to try and sneak that around, see if he can find any gaps in the Overlord defenses in order to take down some units. And there is an Overlord there, and it does see the DT, and Hoejja is all over it. Yeah, Hoejja is just on top of it. There's nothing doing. The DT gets 2 drone kills, and that's it. Not much at all. So that DT being not worth its weight in gold, certainly. And this shuttle, where is it going? Is it going to drop off a High Templar? I would love to see a High Templar just walk in there and throw off a storm, maybe see if Hoejja really test this. Is Hoejja really paying attention? I think we've seen pretty good stuff from Hoejja so far. A really good build order, really good strategy, but is he really paying attention? That's the question. I wonder if he's really paying attention, and then maybe Best can stress that a little bit and see what happens. Looks like Best wants to take the 3 o'clock position for his 4th, and here he comes with the High Templar. Hoejja right on top of it. Hoejja is on top of it. He is paying very, very strong attention, and he is able to take that, or stop that High Templar from doing any real damage. And we should be seeing some cannons come up here at the 3 o'clock position as well to try and defend. And Lings coming in through the back door, going to come in here and try and do some economic harassment, try to take down the 3rd base, which could potentially happen. There are 3 cannons up, but that it was a pretty small number of Lings. Lurkers and Lings coming to the 3 o'clock position as well, so a multi-pronged attack coming from Hoejja, going to try and take down everything, all the bases at once, and he's actually bringing his Lings back. Hasn't decided to go for that 3rd base, but he is going to stop that 3 o'clock base from going up. Best was forced to cancel all of that, it looks like, so not looking good for Best. He is stuck on 3 bases. Hoejja is on 4, and there's something in the bottom left. Never mind. I think that's, is that a bottom left? Yep, there is a hatchery at the bottom left now. So Hoejja's going to go up to a 5th base, and Best can't even get a 3rd right now. Best is looking like it could actually be somewhat trouble for himself, and Zergline for KT looking better and better by the minute in this game. They are with Hoejja just playing really, really well right now, and keeping Best down, able to keep Best from becoming the macro monster that he wants to be, the best Protoss macro monster. He's as good as it gets at the macro parts of this game, but unable to get to the point where his eco is enough to really macro like a beast. And will the 3rd base go up this time for Best? He is going for it again, is setting up to take that 3rd base once more. Will it actually succeed? Will he be able to establish that base? If he's unable to, this could become GG very, very quickly if that base is not able to get established. We should be seeing some Hive Tech. We've seen Hive Tech already, when the Queen's Nest was finished, so I assume that the Hive is done. Should be seeing Crackling, should be seeing Defilers or Ultras, one or the other, pretty shortly here. Curious about that. A DT at the bottom left hasn't gone into the main, so he hasn't actually seen that the main does have a hatchery going down, hasn't started taking it off, just hanging out at the natural expansion. We do have an Archon morph, which will be very good against all the Zerglings we've been seeing. Archons and Zealots are the key, and Storms are the key for Protoss to deal with mass Zerglings. We'll see how that turns out for him. And some Zerglings coming in here could go for the High Templar snipe. Actually are going to back off. Too many forces at the moment. Just +1 weapons right now for Best. Doesn't have a huge upgrade advantage. A lot of times Protoss players like to make sure that they have a nice upgrade advantage. The Zerglings coming in here to the 3 o'clock position are going to go for the Nexus. Will they be able to take it down? It's going to be pretty close. There was a plague on some of the Dragoons. The Nexus is going to be very, very close, but it is going to survive with a couple hundred health, and it will also resurrect a little bit of health as it is building as well. So going to be able to get that base up and going, it looks like. But now the Zerglings go in there, and they are going to pick off the Archons, and they're morphing. So that is painful for him as well. Zergling's worth, as I mentioned in the one of the other games, Zergling's the most cost-efficient unit in the game, combined with vultures, and certainly in this sort of situation, they are against the Protoss. They are certainly the most cost-efficient unit in the game, and they will be able to stream around and do as they wish. And Hoejja just sticking to the Zerglings. Look at all these Zerglings. Non-stop Zerglings, tons and tons of Zerglings, and huge plagues, 2 plagues coming in there, huge all over the Zealots and the Dragoons. So all of those will be at 1 health. All those units will be basically half as powerful as they should be. So the army for Best in huge trouble here. Not nearly what you would hope it would be. Looking at the force, you would think that it's a lot stronger than it really is. Zerglings coming in here for a run-by, and some Zealots able to block off. So Best is responding as well as he can, getting Zealots, getting High Templars. Unfortunately, they're getting picked off. Getting Archons, unfortunately, they're getting picked off as well. So trying to respond as best he can to counter this mass Zergling strategy. And the concern here for Best has to be that if he can't start winning against these Zerglings, that if Ultralists start showing up against his deflated army that's been plagued, he could end up in huge trouble. So he's gotta find a way to time his storms well, place them excellently, and stop all of these Zerglings from doing so much damage. And the Zerglings are getting in here, coming into more plagues coming off on all of these units. Look at all those units going down because they are plagued. That is so painful to watch as a Protoss player. So many units just went down for Best purely because the plague made it so that way they had no health, and this is looking really awful right now. More High Templar going down to Cracklings. This is a Crackling victory. Look at these Cracklings go. They are just continuing to beat down on Best units, and Best has got to be concerned, and he does not look happy right now. And he's still in it, still has that 4th base operational, but this is not looking good for him. A few Lurkers being mixed into the force now, and Queens, so we could be seeing some Broodlings here. Here they come. Here come the Queens, and they are going to Broodling the High Templar as we flash away. Oh no, I'm sorry, they are going to ensnare. So no Broodling, it's just the ensnare ability right now. You know what's interesting? All those cannons are powered by 1 pylon. I wonder if Hoejja sees it. He could go in there, snipe that pylon, and and that base is dead. I wonder if he sees it. That'd be very interesting and an awesome move by Hoejja if he's able to take that down. And look at these ensnared. Those Zealots are slow. What would be cool is with slow Zealots and with Speedlings, you can get surrounds on very, very easily, which could be pretty cool. And he's focusing down the cannons. I'm telling you, all he has to do is focus down the pylon, and that base does go down very, very quickly. Another cannon coming up, still all supported by all of 1 pylon, and another. Oh my god, these plagues, these plagues. Hoejja doing this is amazing. Hoejja's playing really, really well right now. There's plague all over the place. There's a snare. What happens when red and green? I know it doesn't become brown because that'd be too. Oh, okay, it just becomes the most recent spell is what the active color is. But those units are a lot of those units are plagued and ensnared and crawling around them, literally crawling. Look at that. The Zealots on their hands and knees, barely able to join their comrades, and things are looking awful right now for Protoss and for Best. Things are looking dire indeed. As his force, once again, this is yet another force for Best that is not nearly as powerful as it looks. Yes, he is max, essentially max, but that force is plagued. That force is not what you think it is, and it is going to disappear faster than you expect it to. And with the swarm coming down there, another plague. Look at this. This is what I'm telling you. That force is not what it looks like. It looks so much stronger because it was plagued. And the ensnare going down on the Archons, so the Archons will not be able to run away. They will have to turn around and just plain fight. And that is awesome. That is great use of ensnare. What is it? Did Hoejja? Wait, did Jaedong like send Hoejja like advice? Was Jaedong like, hey Hoejja, if you play Best, I'm gonna tell you should go and get ensnare and snare all of his Archons and see how that works, because I bet you Best will be vulnerable to it. Jaedong's been cheating, I think. Jaedong's been cheating and giving away team secrets. It's the only possible explanation for ensnare. That is awesome. Jaedong does love his ensnare. If you'll remember, he is amazing with his ensnare, especially against Terran. He's so cool. On the other side, we do have the Ultralisk Cavern complete, as well as 2,000 gas. So we should be seeing 10 Ultralisks show up pretty shortly here, and that could be the end of that. If there's a Plague plus a Swarm plus Ultralisk, we can just call it GG. Oh, what? There's still Corsairs alive? What has Best been doing? Okay, so at least Best is keeping his Corsairs alive these days. Unfortunately, he's not using them. I didn't realize that they were still alive. They were just hanging around doing a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, finally coming into play. And a Storm picking off one of the Queens. I think there's still another Queen or two left. And this Swarm at the 3 o'clock position looks like it's not going to be able enough to take everything down. Looks like there weren't enough Zerglings. to take care of these zealots, and there are the ultralists, and that, as they say, is that zealots are just not going to be enough to deal with the ultras. You do need the power of storms and wind or reavers and archons, and dragoons actually do a decent bit of damage to them too, but you need something like that. Zealots are not going to be enough, and that is going to be game. Once Zerg starts getting 50 supply over Protoss, that is game. And yeah, 3 o'clock is gonna fall, and Best can GG at any time. I think Best is taking the 12 o'clock position. Either that or that's a block of Zerglings, but he maybe have taken the 12 o'clock position because that would be hilarious. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, it looks like Best may be able to survive here for a little bit longer. Looks like he has possibly stopped the attack, but here come the reinforcing units and the cracklings, and that is. Yeah, the Dragoons are not going to be able to fight this. And there are 4 cannons left, 3 cannons left, 2 cannons left, 1 cannon left. And no pylon, and no cannons, and no, well, okay. Well, Best GG's before the Nexus goes down, and that's going to be that. We're going to go into an ace match, guys! Ace match coming up! This is going to be awesome! SKT and KT going in for an ace match. Who's it going to be? Neo Chain Reaction. So, man, this is going to be awesome. Well, we're going to go on to the next set, and I'm just excited to see the ace match. This is going to be awesome. Who's going to come out for both teams? It could be a whole lot of, oh, man, this is going to be great. But I will see you guys all in the ace match. I'm really pumped for this. I hope you guys are as well. I hope you can feel I'm so excited. I'm actually, like, jumping up and down in my seat a little bit, and I hope you guys are ready for an ace match.